This is Dr. Young. And I'm gonna go over your week 2 assignments. For week 2, you're going to have another discussion and an assignment, specifically paper. For your week 2 discussion, you're going to follow the same guidelines for week 1, specifically as far as content. Now, as far as your initial post and everything, you can look at this Doing Discussions Right document, which we did last week. So that's pretty much the same. Of course, this time you're going to respond to one. Let's see. I think you're going to do one of these. Just make sure of that. Right, so you do one of these topics. So select one topic, and it doesn't matter which one, but just make sure that you discuss it in detail. Don't duplicate anyone else's responses. Just make sure that you use research to support whatever stance you're taking on any one of these. Now, remember, there's a balance here. You don't want to go overboard with your initial post, so don't go over 500 words. You you can take a stance of supporting this or refuting one of these. It's fine, as long as you can justify it and use research that does that. That offers a counterpoint, or or if you agree, well, just make a choice, take a position, defend it. That's basically what I mean on this one, because it's asking you to choose. So in this case, you're defending. I've had other questions might be more of a statement, and you would defend it or you would debate it. But in this case, you have to choose and then defend. Okay. And this is a good practice for you because you have to defend a dissertation. When you do that, you might be in a room full of people. I had a panel dissertation review. I had a dissertation defense. A panel of people sitting around a table in this big room and throwing questions at me. And I had to defend that. I had to answer their questions and have, rationale and be able to defend whatever I was stating in my dissertation presentation. So it's good practice. All right, so for week 2, you're going to look for scholarly journals on leadership. I apologize, I'm raspy still. I'm having really bad allergies. I don't know where you're located, but right now it's either winter or spring. And one day it's winter, it's spring the next day. It's just crazy right now, and it's really wreaking havoc on my sinuses, and allergies are just in full bloom right now, along with the flowers. So anyway, I apologize for that. So go to the SUO library, look for scholarly journals, specifically on leadership. Review the journal's website or material. Identify the author guidelines for submission. Provide the journal name, web address, author guidelines as a separate page after the references in your paper. Okay, now and regardless of the author guidelines provided by your selected journal, the length of your submission is to be 1,000 to 1,500 words, 4 to 6 pages, double space. What this does, why are you doing this, you might wonder. This is good practice, again, for your dissertation process. You're looking for journals. different journals have different guidelines. For example, I have submitted my dissertation to 2 journals, and one of them had different guidelines than the other. I actually had 2 articles from the dissertation that I submitted. They were different articles, they had different guidelines. So there are differences. So this is going to get you exposed to how that works, so that if you want to get your work published, you kind of had some practice looking the information up and understanding what guidelines are and how they can vary between journals. So that is the purpose of this assignment. Imagine that the journal you have selected is requesting articles pertaining to the broad theme, leadership traits and skills for the 21st century. So in this case, you have to you have to narrow down your search. You may select your own topic for submission as long as it clearly connects to the theme. And it's given you an example. You might write something about leader traits, current leader traits, leadership traits and skills and technology, things like that, because that's kind of the future as we evolve technologically. That's always part of, any kind of looking into the future. As we project our business or leadership, it's going to change, and a lot of times that is affected by technology and how we conduct our leadership, how we conduct our actions and our duties when leading. So it's usually more task related, but and there is a connection there. You might want to talk about that. Make sure that your writing is scholarly, correct, with point of view, grammar, spelling, punctuation, etc. Professional in tone. Okay. As you compose your article, keep in mind the 3 ideas about scholarly conversations that you frequently see in discussion question instructions. Scholarly conversations are succinct, provocative, and supported. An article that lacks any of the 3 characteristics is unlikely to get publication approval from a reviewer or an editor. So this is just something to bear in mind. As you go through this assignment, you're going to see examples of journals, how to submit, the guidelines to submit to those journals, how they differ, how they're similar. That's what you're going to see in the first part of the assignment. In the second part of the assignment, you're going to be able to, you're going to have to, you're given a topic, and you're going to have to find articles that are related to that topic and relevant, and making sure that we stay focused on that topic and don't pull up any extraneous information. Basically what I'm looking for here is to see how well you can adhere to this theme and find other articles about this topic. One thing about literature reviews when you're writing a dissertation is it's really easy to go off topic. I feel like it's easier to just write everything that, oh, look, this is interesting. Oh, this is interesting. And before you know it, you've got so many articles, and you're going so far off the topic that you originally set that, it's almost overwhelming. You don't want to do that. You want to stay focused. You want to be very, you don't want to be obviously too short, but you want to be concise. You want you don't want the reader to get distracted and then forget why the person was reading the article in the first place. So you want to make sure that you stay on task, on topic, and without getting too distracted into other areas. Because whenever you write about a topic, there's a lot of different aspects and that can lead to other aspects, and I mean you can just follow this chain on and on and on. So just this is an exercise in being just staying focused on topic, task, conciseness. You want to make sure that you are because dissertations are long anyway, and they can really you don't want to go too far off the beaten path when it comes to the topic and the subject that you're studying. So it's distracting to the reader. Keep your when you're looking for literature on the topic that you're studying, you want to stay focused, because you will be able to find a lot of material most likely on what you're studying. Because unless it's a brand new area, but a lot of times what I see most of the time is researchers will further the study of another study. That's what I did. I was reading about female leadership and gender roles and wondering how that affects management styles and leadership styles, and there's a lot of research on that. It ended up being transformational leadership was my focus, and whether gender roles affect that. So, but I found so much research. I had to really pare it down because there's so much research on transformational, transactional, laissez-faire leadership, and it's just almost overwhelming, and you have to really pare it down. So you might find yourself, whatever you're studying, you might find, oh, there's so much information, and you're going to go through it, and you're going to pull these articles, and you're going to, oh, I think that one relates to my study, and that one, and then you're going to end up with so much that you're going to have to cut it down to the bare bones of what you need the reader to know as far as background on your topic. So anyway, that's just partly an experience for you to consider of someone else who's been through it, and also just the assignment itself. And everything that you do in this class is preparing you for the dissertation. So 4 to 6 page paper. That means the text of the paper that does not include a title page or a reference page. That is separate. So for that goes for the entire class. You never include that in the title and reference page. You never include it in a page count. That's above and beyond the requirements listed here. So make sure that the body of the text of the paper is 4 to 6 pages minimum. All right, that's about it. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. I'll be happy to assist you. And let's have a great week. I look forward to hearing from you in the discussions. Thank you.